This is WPTV.
Welcome back to the desk. We have Jesse, Justin, Steven, and Chris Douglas here to talk some Pioneer football. Now, fellas, Pioneers just came off a tough loss to Frostburg State. Let's take a look at their box scores, some stats from that last game. A very, very tough effort. What did you guys take away from what went on?
Well, the first thing for me, for the Pioneers, is total yards. They had 88 total yards. Now, when you look at other games, a lot of times they can actually pass the ball and move the ball through the air. This isn't the case. They had 71 yards total rushing, which means they only have 17 then passing. So really the biggest problem for them here was being able to pass the ball, which really isn't the case in most games for the Pioneers.
Sadly, 6 first downs compared to 18 first downs. When you look at that, William Patterson actually did not convert a third down going into first down. They were 0 for 14. And then only 2 sacks. This pressure that the defense has gotten has been a bright spot of the William Patterson defense, and sadly it could not break through Frostburg.
It's worth noting, too, Frostburg State scored 42 points in that second quarter. Offensive outburst for them. Steven, what else stood out to you?
For me, I see a little bit of an imbalance in the offense a little bit. Their rushing game has been getting better, which I've been harping they have to get better. Like you said, 71 rushing yards. It's getting a little better. They still have a little bit of inconsistency at quarterback, but it's obviously not high expectations this year. The defense as well. They try their best every single game. They work hard, but they're on the field so much due to that imbalanced offense.
I was going to piggyback right off of that. If you don't have a successful run game, you cannot keep the defense off of the field, period. And the defense plays way too many possessions. They're constantly put in bad positions. They're always with their back against their own end zone, and that's not a good position to be in, and they're always at a disadvantage. So I got to have the offense possess the ball a little bit, at least have a decent possession.
Yeah, it's tough, but we also have to note that there's 58 freshmen on this Pioneers roster. A lot of them are really standing out. Jesse, let's start with you. Who's been your impact freshman so far?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, we have 3 players that could really stand out. We have Chosen Davis, defensive end, William Mortell, the punter, and McKay Boswell, linebacker. On my end, it's got to be Chosen Davis with his 4.5 sacks. He's won NJAC Rookie of the Week twice now, I believe. He has 5.5 tackles for losses, and he has gotten to be so much of a threat. Teams are now doubling him on the end as a freshman. That to me is just incredible, and we have him for another 3 years going forward.
For me, it's got to be Will Ortell, our punter. He's an absolute game changer. In 2 weeks ago, he had a 73-yard punt, which broke the NJAC record. So the fact that we have a punter now, as you can see, is 1,723 yards. The Pioneer offense has 1,000 total. So he has over 700 more total yards alone. The fact that we can have a punter now switch fields and give the defense a full field to work with, opposed to short field, because we've seen it multiple times where the Pioneers turn the ball over and they only have 20 yards to give up before the end zone. The fact that he can switch fields and really give the defense an advantage helps tremendously.
And we were talking about this before, that with those yardage for Ortell, he'd be second or third in the NFL in punt yards.
Yeah, the leaders for the NFL, I think the Cardinals have 2,000 yards, and then the Bills have about 1,900, so he would be right there with them. He's an extremely valuable asset to this team.
Steven?
I'm going to go a little different. I'm going to go on the defensive side of the ball again. McKay Boswell. A guy, he was given his opportunity to start, and he's thrived. 41 total tackles, his third on the team. And another thing that I really like, not only his youth, but he's learning from Faulkner, the leader of this defense, the leader of the team. Corey Anthony as well. Boswell has very good quickness. He can get into the backfield quickly. He has 4 tackles for loss on the year. And I love that, he's learning with Faulkner. He's really going to be a standout player for me in the years to come.
Chris Douglas?
I got to go with Kobe Roberts. His coming out party was last game. He had a long rush of 28 yards, ended up with 17 attempts for 68 yards. That's by far what any running back has done for this team in a while, not just this season. So as a freshman, he's 5'10", 200 pounds, really, really thick kid. The thing is with him, he's not going to lose yardage. That's what will keep you on the field. That's what will keep the offense moving, keep the chains moving. Really physical running back.
Staying with the offense and staying with you, Chris Douglas, Pioneers relied on 2 quarterbacks primarily this season, Cornelius Kinchin, Tracy Fudge. Let's take a look at a comparison between their stats so far this year. Right. Which quarterback gives them the best chance to win?
In my opinion, the eye test just tells me Cornelius Kinchin. He does not have the advantage in a lot of these stats here. Only 303 yards compared to Tracy Fudge's 554. They each only have 1 touchdown. Kinchin's came in the first game of the season. Me and Justin were on the call for that. Yep. So what I saw from Kinchin is the ability to throw downfield. Tracy Fudge, not so much. So just based off of that, I think you have a more expansive offensive playbook if you have Cornelius Kinchin on the field.
Steve?
Sorry, Chris, I'm going to have to go a little disagreement here.
Don't apologize.
I'm going to go with Tracy Fudge. Obviously he didn't start the year, but he's had 5 straight starts. So Coach Johnson really likes what he sees out of Tracy Fudge, considering he keeps giving him the starts. His stats aren't the greatest, obviously. You look at the teams he's faced. Number 7 ranked Wesley, number 5th/6th ranked Frostburg, which is a little thing there. But again, these 5 games, he's getting the chemistry with the offense down a little bit. Maybe he can get a little bit better at mobility. He's been sacked a lot. Obviously, not the best online play as of late. But I think you stick with Tracy Fudge. There's no reason to change it up now when you're gelling.
Steve and I 100% agree. And you brought it up how William Patterson plays against very high nationally ranked teams.
Yes.
So you kind of got to grade those games with a curve and look at the games against FDU, and Keene and all that. And Fudge looks a lot better in those games, and there's a reason he's been the starter for 5 straight games.
Jesse?
I could not disagree with you two more. As Chris alluded to, the eye test, Kinchin holds so much more just pure arm talent. Fudge might have a little bit better sense of the offense. He was Coach Johnson's guy. He moved with Coach Johnson from Stevenson. But Cornelius Kinchin, as you saw in the graphic, his long is 49 yards. That was a 49-yard pass that was completed to Raekwon Bridgman. Tracy Fudge's long of 40 yards was an 8-yard completion to Siraj Abdul-Malik, who he then took it 32 more yards. Kinchin comes in, he moves the ball much better than Tracy Fudge hopes to.
All right, let's preview the rest of the Pioneers season. We have the remaining schedule here. It's tough. Which game gives them the best chance to win going forward? Chris Douglas, we'll start with you.
I'm going to have to circle that game against TCNJ. They are another winless team just like us. We've had success versus Montclair State in the past. I don't see that in the season finale. Coming up in like 2 weeks from now, I see TCNJ as the game that you have to circle as if you're winning a game this year, it's going to be this one.
Steve?
I would agree completely. TCNJ, not the most talented roster, obviously. They don't have the best running game. I think only 300-plus yards on the season. And their quarterback, he's not doing the greatest this season. Only one game in 6 starts over 100 yards passing. So I think we have the edge there, and the defense as well. They gave up 62 points to Frostburg. So it's really going to be a really interesting game that I think we can easily pull out.
I got to agree. The TCNJ game is important. And if the Pioneers can get the run game going, and also if the defense can come through, as they have done multiple times this season, that can be the game they win.
Jesse?
The TCNJ game could be a game that they win. However, I look at Southern Virginia as a game that is also capable. The biggest thing comes down to keeping the defense and offense at a secure time possession that is half and half. If we can secure the offense and defense half and half, I think we could win relatively 3 out of 4 of these games, barring maybe even Montclair, who we play hard every single year. Christopher Newport, not a astounding team. TCNJ, obviously, you guys have already said 0-6. Southern Virginia, not a great team. William Patterson should be in almost every single one of these games. It's going to come down to the defense.
All right, well, good luck to all our Pioneers this weekend. Don't go anywhere because we'll be on the court talking about the NBA right after the break.